Ugh. Oh damn. Ooh, ooh. Come on, we gotta get loose. Uh, Oh. Ooh. Oof. Here we go. Here we go. Oh my god. Come on. Ooh. Oh, come on, dog. Right here. Oh. Oh, come on. There we go. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Ah. Ooh. Ooh. Uh, all right. Oh, let's stop. Who's kid? Uh. Oh. Oh my. Oh my god. Uh. 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 Ooh. Ladies and gentlemen, DeAnthony Thomas had over 3,000 total scrimmage yards across 3 seasons in the wild world of college football down there at Oregon. Actually, the least amount of scrimmage yards he had was his senior year in 2013. That's kind of nuttiness. Look, man, we're here. We're DeAnthony Thomas. We want to kind of talk about, feel about, correspond, if you will. Correspond. I don't know, really get together and acknowledge the amazingness that is DeAnthony Thomas. This isn't just a guy that was a blip on the radar. This is a guy, and one of the, I think, the core reasons why I was watching football the way I was. I mean, look, man, back then in the old 2011 days, 2011 season, I was a young gun. I was getting introduced. I was figuring out the wild world and the wild web and figuring out more about football, playing more football, loving more football. And when you see these absolutely dripped out, amazingly dressed, so much drip, Oregon Ducks in one specific, oh, we're white on white, oh, jeez. One specific Duck, D'Anthony Thomas, who seemed to just fly around town, right? Who seemed to, every single time he had the ball in his hand, make some magic happen, right? And I feel like that's really the lasting impact that he gave for me, right? I feel like he made this chubby guy who was an oversized real fullback in middle school want to be a speedster, want to return kicks, want to have a 6 on my back. I want to be as fresh as D'Anthony Thomas, as fast as D'Anthony Thomas, as smooth as the Black Mamba. I think we can all agree with that. I got a player like that, college football, NFL wise. It's just like an inspiration to you. And I feel like I got people definitely NFL wise that I look up to. Not necessarily look up to, that's kind of crazy, but you admire their game. You know what I'm saying? I feel like a good example of that, because he's so unique, is like an Alvin Kamara. You know what I mean? Like the way that he runs the ball, the way he sees the field, the way he attacks things, right? This is not just simply another power back, another back that can catch out the backfield. Alvin Kamara's got a whole different science about the way that he likes to get after it. Going back to D'Anthony Thomas, that sprinter style running, right? The idea that he was basically a receiver anytime he lined up, combined with that high octane Chip Kelly offense. I mean, I was having too much of a fun time seeing it and loving every single second of it. I just think it's great as we get closer and closer back to the wonderful days of just football. Forget college football, just football in general. I just kind of want to reminisce and take it back and play through some of these guys that are really I think, the pioneers of what my journey in football has been. Look, man, I was out of shape outside linebacker that had dreams of going D3. I was nothing special, but man, I tell you what, there's nothing like Pac-12 After Dark. And speaking of it, now that we've talked about D'Anthony Thomas and his impact, we would be remiss if we didn't talk about, oh wow, did you see that? You see that block? That was crazy. We would be remiss if we didn't talk about the death of the Pac-12 and the birth of the Pac-2. Can we help the Pac-2? Can we help them out? I mean, they gave us the Pac-12 After Dark. You telling me all those years of absolute ridiculous Big 12 with a twist? That's really what the Pac-12 was. Big 12 with a twist, dog. That's it. High octane offense, no defense played, but they played at like 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's great. Do you know how amazing it is to wake up at 3 a.m. eating? Oh, okay, I tackled Bo Nix. You know how amazing it is to wake up randomly at 3 a.m. with a bag of Doritos in Utah. BYU is on. That's just, there's nothing like it. The score is 56-74, and it's only the third quarter. It's a close game the way these boys been scoring. Like, this is, like, I want you to understand, when the Pac-12 was lost, and I get it, it's deals, it's whatever, it's for money. I want y'all to understand that we didn't just lose this conference. Like, back in the days when, like, the Big East disbanded, or the Big 16, I think it was, or all those weird ones that you don't really remember. The Pac-12, there was a Pac-16 too. When all these different conferences dissolve, you don't just lose these like matchups, right? What you're really losing is a lot of the situational things that happen. Like I'm saying, Pac-12 after dark. Imagine what they do if they start messing with the MAC, right? And we don't have the MACtion. The Mid American Conference, it needs to stay silly. It needs to stay mid, but not mid in entertainment, just mid in talent, please. We can't just be throwing off the balance of college football. I'm just not about it. I'm not here to support it. I'm not gonna support it ever. Rest in peace to the Pac-2, Pac-12, whatever you want to call it. Thank you, D'Anthony Thomas, for being amazing. Let's finish out the rest of this game though and really line it up. If there's anything else to even talk about, wait a minute. Golly, I really wish. That's the reason why the Pac-12 became the Pac-2 is because they need to be insane people like the SEC. The SEC, them boys is I gotta put it on. The SEC, them boys is crazy. Oh my god, oh my goodness, that boy is 6'12", stomping and jumping around. The SEC is like a sickness, dog. The SEC is like this. Y'all seen Spider-Man 3? Yeah, man. You know when Toby, when Toby get that black John and he's just whipping it out and he's doing terrible dance moves and he's doing the thing that they do with their hair in the late 2000s. You know what I'm talking about, dog. Like that. It's just that's what it is at all times to be a Georgia fan, to be a Tennessee fan, to be a Vanderbilt fan. How dare Vanderbilt? They let y'all in the SEC. Like, I don't even understand, dog. I don't get it. I can't believe they let Texas A&M in the SEC. Other than the Johnny Manziel years, you've seen how productive them has been. I mean, welcome Oklahoma and Texas to the SEC. I am a Texas fan. I am ashamed of it. Of course I am. But to say it more plainly and more shortly, it's not just about being ashamed of our lackluster last 2 decades besides, these just recent past 2 years. It's really the fact that as soon as we're here, the SEC wants to play victim. Oh, my God. The Texas fans, they're going crazy. They're doing this. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. Y'all know what y'all do. Y'all know the sickness that y'all have. Y'all know the level of commitment that you have as an SEC psychopath to get to the point where I just can't respect you. And let me take that back. It's not that I can't respect you. I cannot respect you talking about another fan base being crazy because the SEC as a blanket is an insano, asylum, Illuminati cult fan base on top of the many cult fan bases that are within the SEC. Oh, wait a minute. Ugh. But yeah, if the Pac-12 would have treated, and hey, shout out to Wazoo, because I feel like Wazoo is they are the most SEC about the Pac-12 team in the Pac-12 because that's a Pac-12 team. They are proud to be a Pac-12 team. I would say Washington was too. Oregon a bit there, but Oregon they always felt like they wanted to be. The way that they talked to the media, the way that they position themselves in the influence of Nike, they always talked about themselves as like they was too good for the Pac-12, and I don't know about all that. I don't know if I can get behind all that, but nah, dog. If they would have committed to it, if they would have been real brain rotty about it, like the SEC is about everything, I mean, who'd have thought? I mean, it might be we might be talking about the Pac-27 right now instead of just the Pac-2. What if the Pac-12 is the Big Ten? What if the Pac-12 and the Big 12? That's what. Like, why are we playing games? Why doesn't the Pac-12 and the Big 12 just smack and smash together and just say, let's get after it? Big 10 and SEC. Big 10 become the Big 15. SEC add like. If you're going to let Vanderbilt in the conference, go ahead and add like 2 Sun Belts. Give me 2 Macs. Just picking them apart. No, forget that. Give me a Conference USA. Give me an American. Give me 2 American. Disband the American. Is the American disbanded yet? Is the ACC disbanded yet? What's the purpose of the ACC? for Dabo Swinney to feel good because he can win the SEC without drafting or recruiting anybody out of the state of South Carolina. I'm sorry, Dabo, that you don't believe in the transfer portal, but I mean it's 2024, G. Yeah, DJ Ugalagalagalagally, that boy sure do believe in. That boy is a religious user of that transfer portal, boy, and I ain't got nothing wrong with that either. I think more power to him. If I'm being real with you, if I'm being honest with you, here it is. Wait a minute. Oh my goodness. Nah, man. I don't want to sound like an old head, right? I'm not saying that all of this money stuff is ruining the game of college football. I'm saying y'all just isn't even trying to be entertaining. Like, I would think that if we gonna get all this money and sign on these deals, we would think about how about let's not have the Big Ten team literally in California play an almost East Coast team in the Big Ten. Like, I don't understand how UCLA and USC work in the Big Ten. I don't know how that works. I don't know how that's I don't know how that's legal. I don't know how a quote unquote student athlete, which they're not student athletes anymore at this point. I don't know how a quote unquote student athlete is supposed to work. But then on top of that, just from a money perspective, what is entertaining about smashing all of the games into this 1-7? What was they're trying to smash all the games between 12 o'clock to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is completely throwing everything off whack. It's making the way that they have to do flights. If a East Coast, and we've talked about West Coast teams and how bad it is. Imagine an East Coast team coming over to the West Coast to be prepared for like what is it, like a 6 a.m. kickoff or something to match the whatever, or I might be getting it reversed, but like an insane time, weird time kickoff to be just on the same level, to be reasonable within the realms of college football in the Eastern State. It's just nastiness, dog. How was that entertaining? How was having all these nasty, weird times really conducive to entertaining instead of just allowing these teams play to the best of their ability in their respective time zones? That makes sense. And I like that. I appreciate them for clearly they had rivalries in mind. You know, you talk about the SEC, making sure Oklahoma and Texas gets there, and most importantly, Texas has a lot of rivalries like within the SEC. So Mizzou is an old one, Arkansas is an old one, and of course the Aggies. You know how that cult get. So it's not just simply. I'm not saying they wasn't even thinking about it at all, but I just feel like it got to the point where it's like, did the Pac-12 even have a plan? Like everybody just scattered and left Wazoo and Oregon State out to play each other, I guess. What does that look like? It is just disgusting, dog. But I feel like an old head, dog. Y'all are ruining the game I love, man. It's not like how it was when I grew up, so it's bad. It's automatically the worst thing ever. I don't know, dog. I'm really hoping that I'm being what's it called? What are they? Not facetious. I'm being optimistic, man. I'm really hoping that I look back at this and it's like I was tripping, right? And everything just turns out to be better than everybody can ever expected. And you know, the team Stanford flying 6 hours and being 8 hours jet lagged and playing a team on the East Coast is going to be great, actually. And it's going to be like World War II and Blitzkrieg. They're just going to be amped up on no sleep, and they're really just going to give people the bit. I don't know, dog. I think that's the best case scenario. Maybe Stanford, those smart they just come up with some new like serum to push people to the next level, dog. And they're out there with negative 12 hours of sleep, just making up new offensive play schemes, putting Lincoln Riley to shame. Forget about the Shanahan offense. We're going to have the methadone setup. I mean, think of the concepts, dog. Think about the concepts. I don't think you are, man. I don't think you're thinking about the spirituals, really. I don't think you are. But I mean, in all seriousness, if we can pretend like we can be serious here, man. This was a video that was supposed to be mainly about appreciating D'Anthony Thomas and the things and situations that kind of go with it and coincide with how that situated. I'm sorry we went off on a tangent, just talking and speaking about the whole world as a whole, college football related. But speaking of college football game, why don't we? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Wow. Well, that's pretty embarrassing. My thing is why, right? Why is there not either a Heisman challenge or like a recreate challenge in this new college football 25, right? Cuz I'm thinking of like why don't, instead of just having whatever, you know how people make those videos, how many, kickoffs until I do this, do that. Why don't we just put iconic plays or iconic moments in college football, like the Boise State drive, and then going into overtime, you got to execute a hook and ladder, then execute, the Statue of Liberty. Going back to D'Anthony Thomas, that kick return against K-State, what was that, in the Rose Bowl that sparked that comeback, or that whole situation there? Like, why don't we have moments like that, like they used to do in throwback moments, I believe, right? Super Bowl moments, yeah, Super Bowl moments. We got to make like a college football playoff moments or something, because it's kind of ridiculous. I need to be able to relive and feel what it's like to be D'Anthony Thomas. All right, but final minute here. See if we can close this for real. I do appreciate y'all joining me. If y'all did join me, if y'all did stay for this long, can we get this first down? Find me. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all hanging out with me. This gameplay is gonna be a part of a longer video. Don't worry about it. That's why I'm yapping over it. I appreciate you though, being here, joining me, having a good time, speaking about a few things, man. And we'll be here next time, next place, same bad time, same bad place, same bad space. You'd be great. Can we finish this game? Ooh. Oh. Here we go. Can we focus? Are you kidding me? What? He threw it behind. Oh my God. That's ridiculous. That's crazy.